So this is a tipping floor. This is kind of the start of everything. This is where all the material comes in and dumps. One of the reasons we had to construct our own building is because it's very difficult to find a building with the requirements you need. You've got trucks that raise up, they dump, they need tall ceilings. We need lots of space. We need solid walls to push on. So this pile here would be traditional single stream recycling. You can see lots of newspaper in it. You can see cardboard. Those are all pretty obvious. You see some plastic. You really don't see a lot, but it's in there. You see aluminum cans. You see glass. By this stage, a lot of the glass is already broken. Most haulers, most collection companies, they're using some sort of compaction type of truck where it's all being smashed and broken, things like that, which is fine for us. We really want the glass to be broken in our system anyway. A system like this, we'll sort 15 tons an hour, and we can't manually pull out every bottle because the percentage of glass is incredible. So quite truthfully, we want it broken to get it to a smaller particle size so our machinery will sort it out a little bit easier. So this piece of machinery he's loading right there is called a drum feeder. And basically what that does, where old single stream facilities, you just have to just push it on a belt and you get these peaks and valleys. You get a big glob of stuff, and then you get a black belt on the conveyor, you get a big glob. You couldn't get consistent throughput. You also couldn't get consistent quality. So what this does is this has a big conveyor belt on the bottom that's moving at a very slow pace, but then it also has a big wheel on the top. You probably can't see it very well. And what it's doing is keeping a nice level stream of material going up to our sorters that are up top. And you'll be able to see that a little bit better once we get up top. You'll kind of understand that process a little bit better. So he can feed that. Today we've slowed down the system. It usually does 15 ton an hour. We've slowed it down to 5 ton an hour just to make it a little easier for everybody to be able to see it. And then it makes it a little easier for our sorters as well. It is a pretty messy environment. I can tell you we've spent a fair amount of time cleaning up, preparing for this. But he can typically load that hopper. He can be gone for about 30 minutes, and then he can come back and load more material into it. So it means we don't have to dedicate an operator to that either as well. So
I'll go get a load document.
This floor, we had concerns this morning that we weren't going to have any material to sort. And this floor filled up that quick today with like 3 or 4 different semi-trucks that came in from different markets, trucks that come in from local haulers. There's one looks like right now, it's probably going to come. And all of a sudden, so this fills up really quickly, which means we've got to keep stuff moving. Our old plant was about 50,000 square feet, so this is about 36 to 40,000 square feet total. This is the single frame plant, so this is where all the sorting is going to happen. The equipment we use is from a company out of Oregon called Bulk Handling Systems, specialized in equipment like this. My dad mentioned it at the beginning, but we were fortunate enough to receive a federal grant for partial funding of this with some economic stimulus money. So it was a really good decision for us to buy things made in the USA compared to a lot of this equipment, which is really technology has been developed in Europe for a number of years. So BHS is the company who installed all this. It took them about 30 days to put all this up once they got it here. About 26 truckloads of all this showed up, and it looked like a bad entertainment center from Target. We thought, oh my God, there's no way. And amazingly, these things fit together like pieces. They work 7, 10-hour days, and they're ready to leave after 10 days. So you can see out here, most of the stuff are on the 2nd story. So material comes up from outside and comes across. Everything, all the material after it's sorted is stored down below us. That's why we get up in the air. So I think we can go ahead and go on up. Basically, when we go out there to the floor, it's feeding the material up here at a nice consistent level for you. Like I mentioned, this is slowed down dramatically compared to what it normally is. What their job is here is you saw down below, we had 2 big dumpsters down there. They're trying to pull out heavy metal items. There's a wide variety of things. It could be pots and pans, it could be brake motors. I don't know what it is. There's a lot of different things. So they're going to pull those things out. This right here are the big bulky plastics. So if you get a flower pot, if you get a laundry basket, you kind of look down there and see it. The reason we pull those out is a lot of our separation happens by size. So it's not saying, oh, this is plastic, it goes here. It's saying, oh, it's big, it's probably cardboard. It was actually plastic. So they pull that out here. And the last one is they're pulling out trash. So they're finding things that they know would cause problems for our system. So cleaning our system, there is some things that some of us would call recyclable that gets pulled out as residue. That being plastic bags. In our system, when we mix all these things together, it's very difficult for us to harvest those plastic bags and come to Walmart and Target and recapture those. We're looking at trying to push for that. There is options for them. You can take them to your local Walmart. They're allowed to throw them in the recycling. Tin cans, aluminum cans, plastic bottles. I think that's really about it. So our first material right here is a magnet. Tin cans are magnetic. Lift up the tin can, goes to the side, drops it off and falls into a bunker that's down below us. So quite truthfully, that is my favorite part of the system. It's the cheapest part and it never misses. You'll never see a tin can hardly from that point on. So it's just awesome. We've got, now what we do is now we have different sorting spaces here. So you can see his job is to pull off all the milk jugs. So he's pulling off milk jugs. As I said, this job, we slowed it down to about a third of the speed. So you can imagine how quickly this stuff comes by here. Down there, which is what's called natural HDPE. This is our colored HDPE. So we have some examples here. That's what he's looking for. He's looking for this kind of manure category called 3 through 7, which is mostly like plastic cups, the clamshell containers, things that aren't typically a bottle or a container with a small neck on it. So she's pulling all those, but you see a lot more of those than we used to. And then the most of what we get is PET, which is soda bottles and water bottles. Our goal is after this person, the only thing that'll be left on there is an aluminum can or what we're going to call residue. It could be a bottle cap that's left on there. It could be a small piece of glass. This little piece of plastic is going to fall into our residue. You can see they're getting the majority of it. In front of them is where the cardboard bunker is and where the newspaper is. So they can take it and throw it off in front of them. Oh, wow. Well, we'll probably see on that conveyor there first and forget. Now this is the fiber line. Everything that went over the top, like we did with our example of newspaper, will come down here. And what their folks are doing here is more of like a quality control. So what they're looking for is any possible plastic that made it over here. They're looking for aluminum cans that made it over here. We're also looking for any brown pieces of cardboard that made it over here. He might leave it because throw it in a cardboard bunker. These containers here, if you end up with a plastic bottle here, if he finds a plastic bottle, they can throw it in that chute. There's another conveyor underneath here. Takes it that way and then gets it back over on the container line over there for the storage. A lot of facilities you go to will have 100 barrels around, and they're filling barrels and they're moving around. And our goal is not having that. We put a lot of conveyors in. We've got like 6,000 conveyors in here to get stuff around. This is our trash throughout the whole system. Every single pound of trash that we collected ends up here at the end of the day. You can see there's a fair amount of plastic bags. Single stream's not perfect, but you can see we have missed some plastic bottles somewhere in the system that came through here. It's a very small percentage. Overall, only about 7% of everything we bring in ends up going out as trash. 93% of it gets recovered and gets remarketed, resold, turned back into something new. We are looking for an option for the plastic bags right now. They're very dirty, and there's not much of a market for them. So they keep an eye on them, and they figure out what they need to bail different times of the day. About 50% of single-stream is made up of newspaper, so about 50% of our time we'll bail newspaper. Aluminum cans we might only bail once a week. PET, I don't know what the fact says, but PET is a form of polyester. The majority of that gets turned back into new carpet or clothing. It gets taken, it gets ground, it gets spun into polyester fiber, turned into new carpet with Mohawk Industries in Atlanta. RN to new fabric. We got our HEPE natural milk jugs. Those stay within Illinois. We send them to a company up in Aurora who takes them, grinds them up, and they make like park benches and tables, things like that out of recycled plastic. We got our HEPE color. 88% of energy is saved, and plastic is made from other plastic rather than raw material. There's extreme environmental benefit of not only recovering this from landfill, but also when they make new stuff. It saves a lot of energy when they make new stuff. So for us, when we have a full truckload is when it gets to about right here. So you can see we don't have really a full truckload of any of these grades. We've got mixed benches, which is big bulky plastic. We've got this plant was doing about 2,500 tons a month. When we opened the doors there, that plant's scheduled to do about 2,000 tons a month. So we almost doubled the day we opened our doors, which is quite overwhelming to have 26 new employees that start on the same day, 26 people that don't know where to park, 26 people that don't know where the break room is, and we have twice as many trucks shipping out than we used to, and it happened overnight. So that was pretty wild for us. Probably not expected to be like that.